Now, number 4, range of motion. So we're looking at working on the movement when it comes to the neck, and this can serve a couple reasons why. To educate the individual or yourself that it's okay to move, because a lot of times when it relates to pain, we don't want to move. The body doesn't want to move. The body's kind of worried about us moving. The body thinks that if we move, we might cause more damage, and we need to kind of educate ourselves, our client, and our body that, yeah, it's okay to move and it's safe to move. Also to kind of help improve range of motion, to kind of lightly dynamically stretch the muscles. And the movements that I end up looking at is like rotation, so rotating the head to the side, side flexion, bringing the ear to the shoulder, flexion, bringing the chin or forehead down towards the chest, going into a chin tuck as I was kind of talking about, and then extension, bringing the head back. And with this one, you're being cautious of, when it comes to all the exercises, if yourself or if your client ends up having funny symptoms, and funny symptoms might be passing out, blacking out, feeling woozy, sick to their stomach. If they end up having any funny symptoms like that, numbness, discontinue the exercise and send them off to their doctor or whoever their primary medical professional is to get it looked at, and to make sure that to rule it out that there's nothing, to find out what's wrong, to rule out that there isn't anything more serious going on, and to see if other investigations or other treatments need to be done. So this isn't any one to kind of pound through. So looking at some of the range of motion exercises, so bringing ear to the shoulder, just side flexion, and just kind of pivoting through the nose, going to a point where there's resistance. I'm not reefing on it, I'm slightly going side to side, trying to stay relaxed in the shoulders, going to a point where I get light resistance in that neck. Kind of pivoting in, kind of looking at pivoting at where that nose is. I've kind of closed my eyes to kind of visualize and relaxing the muscles around my neck, and you see the shaking out once again. Now I'm going into flexion and extension, flexion and extension. And I kind of talked about the extension. You might just get them just to go into flexion alone and then back into neutral or back to the start position. And I can end up going chin to chest, or I can end up going forehead towards chest in order to get a little bit more of a stretch or pull in the thoracic, in the deep muscles in the thoracic spine. Once again, you're not going crazy. Number 5, kind of looking at the mobility side. And what I mean by mobility side of things is I'm looking at the mobility specifically when it talks about the thoracic spine and how movement is in that thoracic area. As was mentioned in the number of the other presentation, is thoracic movement ends up having a big effect on the shoulder, and it also ends up having a big effect on the neck. So take a look at component 1, corrective exercise strategies for athletes and meatheads 2, with Tony Gentlecore, and he goes through more when it relates to the mobility side of things. Now, I know with the exercises that Tony goes through, a lot of the variations you can, if being on the floor or going on the floor is difficult for yourself or your client, a lot of the options you can move into standing up against a wall.